I bet you know this, but the little books by Hunkydory, little books of pressed flowers, wizardry, there are so many little books. They are a great favorite of our customers, and I bet of yours too. Please join us as we explore these two darling little books and come play with us. Okay, before we get started, let's look at just the size of these. Now, they are 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. They have 144 pages in them. My gosh, that's, you can see, really thick. And they're gummed at the top. There are 100, as I said, 144 sheets. There are 25 designs, so you get 6 of each one. Okay, we're going to start with the pressed flowers, and I have to tell you, I absolutely love this artwork. I think it is just gorgeous. And Heidi began with our 5 by 6.5 inch cards. She did use some of our patterned and solid cardstock. So she covered the front with the luscious lace, the tan that's in the solid cardstock. So that was simply glued to the front and trimmed to fit. Then she took one of the luscious lace. Now this is the pattern cardstock. This is the 12 by 12, and glued it to the front. A little bit smaller than the card itself. And if you want exact measurements, you know they are right down below. Just click on the card and you will find them. In fact, you can do that with all the cards. Now she did do some inking of the edges, and with the tan, with the solid, she used the Spectrum Noir Midas Gold ink pad. Really, really pretty. With the luscious lace, she used the Velvet Fawn Prism ink. And she did use the blending brush, so just in case you aren't sure how to do that, let me bring in my craft mat and quickly demo. So I'll take the Velvet Fawn and just going to tap it a little bit with my blending brush, starting from the outside, so starting from the craft mat, just bring it in. And you can see that that's going to give a really nice edge to the cardstock, or to the solid or pattern cardstock, either way. Now the other way that you can do it, if you just want the edge, is to simply pick up your ink pad and run it perpendicular. So this is going this way horizontally, this is going vertically, and just run it right across the edge. And you can kind of slant it if you want to get more ink in there, and it's just going to give a hint of the ink. So 2 ways that you can apply those inks, and that is what Heidi has done on this very first card. Let me toss these things to the side, and you can see now she's going to cut another of the luscious lace solid and ink it, as you can see. But then she took this piece out of the little book of, and you can see that she distressed the edges. So you can take the our X-Acto penknife and kind of run it across the edges. You can tear them, you can do whatever you want. And let me just show you on the finished example. You can see how she really gouged into the edges. So you don't have to be delicate with it. And then she has inked that again with the Velvet Fawn, and to finish her card. Now this piece, these 2 pieces have been glued together, and then she used the jute to wrap around the bottom. And I love how she's got the purple and the green and the tan, all 3 colors, just doing a nice job. And then this piece was foam taped onto the front of the card. And I just like that bit of distress. I like the opposite sides of the papers. They're not extreme, but just a little bit there, just kind of going with the distressed look, and the inking just adds a beautiful touch. So you go from here to here quite easily. Now she has also used a little piece for her greeting, and this comes off of another sheet in the little book. You can see "Thanks a bunch." It looks like a plant tag, and she's foam taped that on top. And her other embellishment here is with this. This is the gold and silver shimmer sparkles. She's got 3 of them right there, just a little bit, just to do a nice balance between the heavy bow at the bottom and just giving it to the upper right-hand corner. Now inside, a very different look. Isn't that just beautiful? Well, you've got the luscious lace, you might as well use it. And this is the image that she has cut out of the book and is going to be placing right there. But first, as you can see on the luscious lace, there are, in fact, I'll bring this in so you get just a close look at all the papers. So this is your sheet that she has used. It's got that beautiful design right along the edge. And because she's using the 12 by 12, you only need one sheet. Let me show you. She first placed the paper here and glued it down to completely cover the inside of the card. Then she matted this piece onto the blue in the luscious lace solid and glued it right here, overlapping that edge a little bit, but not completely covering it. You see it's kind of more to the right side. Then she took the bottom part of that lace and just cut along the outside edge and glued it to the bottom here. And isn't that just lovely? A little jute bow is placed on the edge of another cutout, Sent with Love. So just trim that out. And she glued it flat. And then more of those sparkles were placed in the center of the flowers. So just beautiful. Even though this is lovely on its own, I think it's even prettier when you add some lace to it. You know, you just can't go wrong with lace, can you? Okay, that is our very first card, and beautifully done, I might add. And let's get to our second. Now, because there are two little books this time, Heidi has done two projects out of each one, so that makes it nice. And this one is got some other things going on. So let me straighten that up so you can see it. This is the little book sheet that she used. So it's got a tag on it, which she has elected to cut out. But before she did that, she went into the Fairy Garden solid cardstock. So you can see all of those colors. And you can see here that she has used the green. She's also used the pink, but she's also used a specialty paper. So let me show you what that's all about. And so the solid is a little bit smaller than our 5 by 6.5 inch card. Again, measurements are down below, as you know. And then she took the hammered gold. Now, we haven't used this in a little while, but this is embossed. It is very flexible, and it just is a beautiful sheet. And she has trimmed that to fit within the green area, but then she tore one edge. Actually, she tore both edges. So you can see the shiny gold as I wiggle this, and then you also see the duller gold that is in the inside of the paper. So really pretty. Did the same thing with the pink, actually trimmed it a little bit narrower, but then tore the long edges and glued that on top of the hammered gold. Now, then she went into the cutting die that is the luscious lace cutting die. Now this has a long border, and it also has a medallion type. So she die cut this twice out of vellum. Yes, white vellum. Now, Heidi is telling us that you can color the vellum, and yes, that's what you can do. So she has used the the plum jam ink pad and has rubbed that on with the blending brush like I just showed you, except she's done it around the die cut vellum piece, and you can kind of see it on the pieces that are here. There are two pieces, and there's one. Let me just lift that up a little bit so you can see. It's pink, more pink on the edges, and it's more white on the inside. That's because she did it from the edge. So one is here and another one is here, okay? Now you can cut out that tag shape, and she has foam taped it on top of the card. One thing about attaching the vellum medallions, you really only have to attach them in the middle of the card, because they're going to get covered up by this tag, so you don't have to worry about the glue showing. So just go ahead and use whatever glue you want. Just put a bit here and a bit here, pop your vellum lace on top, and that's good to go. Okay, hope I didn't throw you off there, but I think you see what I mean. Okay, now the tag is foam taped at an angle, and let me just show you. So she's got the tag, and there is this little area for a greeting, and the greeting is also in the little book. In fact, it's got this whole sheet of greetings, so you can simply just cut out what you want. She did just to say, and glued it on top. Really nice. Now for her ribbon, that is going to come from our green ribbon set. So there's lots of greens in here, perfect for St. Patrick's Day, but there's also the duller green, the kind of mossy green right there. And so that is going to do our front. However, as I said, you get 6 sheets of every single one of these. So Heidi elected to cut out different layers. So let me just show you. So the whole sheet is glued down first. Then she cut out this piece and foam taped it. Then she cut out the darker petals and foam taped them. She did the same thing on the other 2 blossoms and foam tape those. So you get a little bit of lift, as you can see. And if you're using our foam squares, it's not going to get too thick at all. Okay, so that does a nice job for you on the front. To finish it off, she used the pinks and purples, diamond sparkles. Now what's different about these, and I hope you can see it, there is some gold in them. So they're not just the solid pink, there is some gold on top. So it just gives you a flash of that gold sheen. So that's not bad, is it? Now her bow, as you know, she takes advantage of the Hunkydory bow maker, and that way she gets a perfect bow every single time. Now as we go to the inside of our card, she has also covered the inside with one of the Fairy Garden solid cardstock. This is the dark green, and this is the art that she has used as I'm trying to find it. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess you can see it right there. And it is right there. However, what she did after she glued this down is, remember I told you that in the luscious lace there is also a border? She die cut that out of the vellum also. Well, of course she would. They're together. And she did edge it with the gold ink pad, and I think you can see that. There we go, just a really pretty edge, just on the outer edge, not the straight edge. She did use the sticky specks to attach the straight edge of that die-cut vellum right along the fold. So sticky specks, as you know, has got a sticky layer. You just lift back the covering and place your die-cut on, rub it a little bit, and then place it perfectly on your project without any glue seeping through that beautiful lace image. There, I found it. There's the sheet that was used. Now this already has good luck on it. So all she added was a bow, little 2-inch bow there, and more of those sparkles that just do such a nice job. So those are our first 2 projects, and these are the 2, as I said, out of the Pressed Flower book. Okay, now we're going to go to the Wizardry book, and if you are a fan of Harry Potter, as I am, this will be fun for someone in your family. I'm sure they're going to absolutely love it. So same thing, 144 pages. There are 6 of each design, 25 designs. Here is the finished card that Heidi has done, and this is an easel card. So she's made it in a circle. You see those, that eagle, and it will stand up like so. So fun to see the round shape. And I'll tell you what makes this really fun and easy to do is our 12 circle and scallop dies. And you can see right away, there's the circle, there's another circle, and there's another circle, but then there's the scallop. So they just work really well because they nest together. Okay, let me get you started we're going to start with the Black Mary cardstock. Now, I do have to tell you, this is in very limited supply. So if we are out, you can substitute just black cardstock, or you could use our black glitter, would be kind of wonderful. You will want to make your card out of that Black Mary or whatever you use. So you're going to need a sheet or a piece that's cut that's going to be 10 inches by 6.5 inches. So 10 inches long by 6.5 inches wide, score it at 5 inches, and then you'll have your 5 by 6.5 inch card. And then we start cutting. So then you will take the largest circle, not the scalloped one, but just the circle, and place it just over the fold line, just over that, so because we don't want that cut. And that way you can die cut your circle. While you're at it, you're going to do a second circle just by itself of the same size, and that piece is going to get glued to the front. But before you do that, take your well, Heidi has used the adorable scoreboard because it's got all the measurements on it. She's taken her circle and cut the front of it, excuse me, scored the front of it in half. You can see that half right there pretty well. So just score that. It's going to be parallel to the fold, as you can see. Then you're going to take that second circle and glue the bottom half of it to the bottom half of your card front. Okay, that way you've got the mechanism to let that stand up. Okay, now what Heidi used is, in addition to this sheet out of the Wizardry, she also used flowing ink. Now, flowing ink, as you can see, it's just got this wonderful blend of colors. These are really jewel tone, so they work really well with these. And you can see that she die cut the next, so we use this big one to begin with, then you're going to take the next one down that's scalloped and die cut that out of one of the flowing inks. You can see that she used one that's got purple and blue in it, and then simply glue that to the front of the card. Then you're going to go one more down. So we've done this one, the scallop, and we're going to take this one and die cut that out of black, go down to the next straight one, and die cut the this piece. So you're just going to get part of it, okay? And place it there. In fact, let me see. Oh, here we go. I'm showing you the wrong one. I forgive me for that. So you're just going to die cut that, just following that circle. Now that gets glued down flat also, but what Heidi did is she took another sheet and she cut out this jar of magic potions, and also the feather, and also the birds. And those she has glued, the feathers glued down, this has been foam taped, and the birds have been foam taped on top. So it's giving you a three-dimensional look. So that's just really, really nice. Now, like the other book, there is a sheet of greetings, and you can cut out the greeting, put it there. She made a bow using the bow maker out of the purple ribbon and zotted it in place right there. Okay, so that finishes our card front. And you still have more of these left. Now we're going to go to this one, and we're going to go to the inside of our card. And she has cut out another big circle out of the flowing ink and just glued it to the front, or to the inside of her card. Another black circle. And then she used the same circle die to cut out between the two birds and glued them there. There is the sheet of greetings, and just a knotted purple bow is right there. So that takes care of our easel. And when you're doing a card like this, it will fit nicely in our 10 envelopes collection, so you're not without an envelope by any means. Okay, we have one last card. This too is out of the Book of Wizardry. And let me get a white piece of cardstock behind this so you can really see. And I have to tell you, I think the combination of colors is quite lovely. So let me pull those out. She has used the copper glitter, the black glitter, and the gold cardstock, metallic gold. Aren't they pretty? Beautiful job. Now Heidi elected to make her card base out of the black glitter. So here's what that looks like. If you're going to do that, you will cut a sheet that is 11 inches. Whoops, sorry. It would be 10 inches by 6.5, and then you're going to score it in the middle. Now you can do it that way, or you can get the regular cards and then put a piece of the black glitter on top. It's just whatever you like. Now what she did then, can you see that gold flash? That is a matte, as is the copper glitter. So we're going to start with this piece. This piece is used full size. We're going to mat it onto the copper glitter, just like so. And then we're going to mat that onto the gold metallic cardstock. And placing it on the black, it's just beautiful. Now, with this piece, as with the others, there are multiple sheets of it. So we'll take, looking to find it, let's see. Well, we'll just move ahead. Okay, I've buried it, I'm afraid. But this piece, she's got it glued down flat, perfectly right. But what she's done is she's selected different elements and she's cut them out. So these, the candlestick and this feather, this candlestick and these candlesticks are all just one piece that's been foam taped up. Okay, again, the foam squares are going to make that easy because they're narrow pieces. Now for the owl, she's got the piece flat, and then she cut out the wings. So this whole piece, one more time, foam taped it. Then she cut out the piece with the feathers up there and the body. And then she cut another one with just the body. So this is the body and the wings, and this is just the body. Then the little sealed part on the letter she has cut out also. All of those have been foam taped. Now there's also the sheet of greetings. Now you saw a little bit on the first card, but here it is. So the time to celebrate. What Heidi did is she cut it out, and then she used a bone folder to kind of make it curve a little bit, just like I'm doing. So she foam taped the middle part, but she dotted the edges. So they kind of bow across the wing of the owl. So just really, really nice. The gold and silver ribbons is what she used to make a bow. Again, she used it with the bow maker. And that finishes the front of the card. I hope you like that copper, gold, and black combination. I think it's stunning. For the inside of her card, well, you can tell that she used this piece. It is going to be cut down a little bit because it's taller than the inside of our card, the 5 inches, but she's done the same thing with the matting. So she started with putting the black glitter to cover the whole inside of her card. Then she matted this onto the copper again, and then again onto the gold, and then simply glued that flat. She pulled out the send from you know who and foam taped it, and a knotted gold bow on top. So just really fun. Nice to have something very, very striking, very different, don't you think? So we've got really a wonderful pairing here of pressed flowers and the little book of wizardry. I will tell you that we have more of the little book of pressed flowers on order. They'll be coming in. So if by any chance it is showing sold out, just leave your email address. We'll let you know the moment it arrives. We're expecting it any day. So that's what we have for pressed flowers and the book of wizardry. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you are watching us on YouTube, we hope you'll like us. We hope you'll subscribe. then come on over to paperwishes.com. We have a special money saver on both of these. It's on the right side of your screen. And as I've told you, we have the directions and measurements down below. Just click on any of the cards and you can see that. You can print them if you want. I want to thank you so much for joining us. And Heidi, great job, lady. And I do so appreciate that you are part of our Paper Wishes family. Bye-bye.